and welcome to Comic Blender. I'm Dick.
I'm Dave.
And of course, we're going to talk about comics. Yes, comic books. We're always going to talk about what we thought was good, which we're going to do here in a second. What's going to be good, because there's always something that's going to be good.
Coming up.
Yes, so we're going to have the Geek of the Week, which is always silly to look at, always very, very entertaining.
Good for a few laughs, at least.
Yeah, just for a little bit. Man of the Shop, of course, and the best part of this show, complaints. But let's go ahead and get the show on the road. Let's see what we thought was awesome this week, because there was actually quite a few cool things this week. It was hard to only pick two, but Dave is going to tell you his first.
Yep. As always, Uncanny X-Men is on the docket. Yes, their issue this week was 478. We got Billy's hand back. That's awesome. And Ed Brubaker's writing still. So, I mean, this is a high-energy book. Last issue, Vulcan destroys the gateways that link the path up to the Shi'ar Empire, and behind them was the X-Men following, and now they're stranded because the next gateway was destroyed. The X-Men board a Shi'ar Outer Rim space station, and it has a little feel like Star Trek-y, but I'm going to excuse that. Professor Xavier was disguising himself to protect his identity from the Shi'ar because there were some complications in the past, and they blame him for a lot. And still to be disclosed, but Xavier's honesty is questioned several times throughout this title. There is a surprise by the Shi'ar staff around the space station. They're not exactly who you think they're going to be. That one's pretty intense. Good amount of action in this one. We get to see the X-Men using their powers pretty well, and the cool stuff that you didn't think Rachel had under her belt. And
instead of just snicked.
Oh yeah, no Wolverine in this one.
Yeah.
Thank God.
All right.
So anyways, the plot thickens when Xavier's identity is later unveiled to the Shi'ar, and so anyways, they always leave you ending. They always end the book leaving you wanting more and more. So as I said before, it's not the time to give up on the X-Men. So go ahead and do yourself a favor, pick that one up.
I'm going to.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. My first pick is 52, week 18. I love 52. I cannot. It's still so good. I recommend it to everybody as often as I possibly can. If you're a big Marvel fan, it may not really be your cup of tea, but if you're a big DC fan, and I mean a big DC fan, not just like, oh yeah, Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, the top three. No. I'm talking like you love the down and dirty characters, you like the off characters, that kind of a thing. This is definitely your shtick. In this issue, we have, kind of a wrap-up with what happened with the whole bombing during Black Adam's wedding and everything, so that's kind of cool. You kind of find out what's going on. There's this steamy little scene with Renee Montoya, because you know how she rolls, which is always entertaining, of course. I can't turn it down. It's like picking up an issue of Housewives or something like that. Yeah, it's virtually there, except a little classier, I suppose. But we have something cool that happens later on. We have a possible Booster Gold replacement. You hear it here first? Hear it here first? Yeah. No, we really don't. It's true, but it's still kind of cool. Also, too, we have Detective Chimp in here with Ralph Dibny, and that's really cool. And what happens to him towards the end is really awesome. Has to do with the whole 10th age of magic and so on and so forth. If you remember what happened in the Crisis and everything that happened with Shazam and the Wizard and so on and so forth, that's why it's so good. I love it. It's just a fantastic title, and everybody should read this comic book. I promise you, it is a great title. Comes out weekly. 4 writers. Keith Giffen does the art layouts. J.G. Jones does the covers. It's good. That's my first pick. Dave, what's your second?
Well, I'm always on the Marvel train, but today is not the day. I actually picked up an indie title.
David, say it ain't so.
Yeah, it's true.
All right.
It's called The Cross Bronx, #1.
Yeah.
Writer is Michael Avon Oming. I'm not sure I pronounced that right, but he'll forgive me, I hope. Artist Ivan Brandon, doing choice work, a little different from what you might be used to if you're following DC and Marvel closely, but it is still pretty intense. I'm going to give you a hint. Pay close attention to the moths in this book. Just keep that in mind. Not for kids. There is a lot of drug use and blood and gore in this one.
Yes.
Hope you're a little bit mature for this one. Lots of action, cool panel angles. The direction of things really worked out for me. Gets really deep out of nowhere. At first, they start off with just a gory starting, and where things, and soon enough you start to see where things are headed. one of the main cops has a problem balancing his career and his home life, and you start seeing that wearing him down already in the first book.
Cool.
Once he starts to investigate things, you soon realize that he's on the wrong track. But that's something to surprise you with later on. Then you start to see a glimpse at the end, or closer to the end, of what's the cause for all the awesome gore in this book.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
You know,
I mean, just skimming through that thing, it's just it's beastly.
And then they just drop you off on the end, and you just have questions and questions and questions running around in your head. Pick it up and keep doing so. It's going to keep going good, I hope.
Yeah, and obviously Omi did the cover.
Yeah.
Because he does all, obviously he does Powers and stuff with Brian Michael Bendis, which is
Right on.
now finally getting good. I don't know if everybody reads Powers, but for a while Powers was just getting kind of crappy there for a little bit. But
Right on.
yeah, no, I totally pick up
Choice
that
book.
comic.
Choice.
Yeah, hands down. My second pick is going to be Lone Ranger #1. Yes. Lone Ranger #1. I saw that it was going to come out. I was figuring, you know what? I don't normally pick up that kind of style book, but I'm going to do it. And you know what I've discovered? It kind of feels a lot like Jonah Hex, except it's not so like, oh, I'm a ballsy kind of guy with messed up face or whatever, and I'll do anything. I'm crazy, It's totally cool. It gives you this weird little story between like a father and a son, and then a brother, and it jumps back in time. Like it'll be like 13 years ago, and then it'll go forward to 13 minutes ago, and things like that. Cool. The art is very, very good considering it's a Western book, because sometimes on Westerns it gets just real dirty and real scratchy, and you might as well look at a Rob Liefeld picture if you're into that, because you're going to get a lot of scratch. You must like scratching. They should make Rob Liefeld comics scratch and sniff comics.
Yeah.
I would
they'd all smell bad.
I would pick them up. But we have Brett Matthews writing this one, who actually, believe it or not, wrote a couple of episodes of Firefly, which totally bombed, and Angel. But that's what he did. We have Sergio Cariello, who does Sojourn, and believe it or not, teaches at the Joe Kubert School of Art.
Really? That's sweet.
So I mean, it kind of gives
cool.
you a little something there. Maybe you'll like it a little more. Then you're like, oh, he's an artist. It's good now. I can accept it. But it was a cool title, very westerny, just very gunslinging type of story. But it has a good sentimentality behind it, which makes it a really good, not so much heartwarming, I guess, but just a satisfying story in the end, and it kind of makes you want to keep going.
Right on.
You know what I mean, Kiwasabi?
You know it.
All right.
Hi-yo, Silver.
Well, let's go ahead and check out the cover of the week. You want to check out the cover of the week, David?
No.
No? Ah!
Force push. You like that?
God, David, you got a wicked force push there, buddy.
At least we weren't thumb wrestling.
No kidding. I would have taken that one hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Hands over.
All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about what we think is going to be good this coming week, because there's obviously going to be something good. David, what are your picks?
A lot of good stuff's coming out next week, and it's unfortunate that I have to narrow it down to 2. But check it out. Green Lantern Corps #4 is hitting.
It's so good.
Can't get enough of Kilowog and Guy Gardner. They're just wrecking face. Also, the king of comics right now, Annihilation #2 is hitting. Can't get enough of Power Cosmic.
You know what? I'm sorry. I love it a little more than Civil War.
I love it a lot more than Civil War.
It's so good.
Just not as many comics to talk about. So
of course, Ronin. Don't want Ronin.
Ronin.
None of that. What's this Ronin action? Don't want any of that. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Fables 53. Bill Willingham writes it. He's doing great since issue 1. It's obviously 53 issues in, and it's a really, really good comic, and that's why I'm going to bet on it for next week. Also, too, I'm going to be picking Girls 17, obviously done by the Luna brothers, and it's finally starting to pick up here and getting some momentum, because for a while it was kind of dragging. Yeah, it was really dragging. You're like, all right, what's up with these naked alien chicks? Get on with it. Now it's got the military coming in. Whatever. I don't want to keep talking about it.
Pick up a trade and catch up.
Yeah, they got the trade out now.
Checking it out.
Yeah, it's good. Well, you know what? That's what we think, but let's go ahead and show everything that's coming out this coming week.